base. Command module to base. We have now removed our spacesuits. Over.
Base to command module. Proceed with a planned series of experiments. Over.
Roger. Are you ready, number 2?
Ready and waiting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, and Joan Sims in...
Nah, stop messing about. Welcome. Today I'm going to show you all my dearest possessions.
You're not.
Oh, something that is near to my heart.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Yes, my very own album of press cuttings. Ooh, right from the years when I was struggling in the theatre. Oh, yes, I struggled, I can tell you. Oh, then one day I stopped struggling and it all happened. Oh, yes, look, here's my first review.
Oh, yes. Pig Breeders Monthly. Mr. Williams hogged the stage in a rather streaky performance of Bacon.
Yes, and they've got a photograph of him.
That's a photograph of a prize boar.
Gone quiet, isn't it?
What's the next press cutting?
The Fortune Tellers Gazette. Last week they predicted that my performance today will be absolutely magnificent, except for one moment when I luff a line, fluff a line, Luna fluff. Oh, they were right.
And here's one from the poultry farmer. Mr. Williams laid an egg on stage last night.
And from the Estate Agents Weekly. Kenneth Williams' rendering was a little flat.
Yes, that's not bad. Yes, there are plenty of good reviews too. They all like my performance in Quiet Flows the Don. I played Don's friend. Yes, and Look Back in Anger. Well, I was the one he was looking back in anger at. You see, yes.
Yeah. I see you've stuck in an old variety play, Bill. Gals and Giggles.
That's right. It was my first show. I played a giggle.
Top of the bill, the extraordinary Bandini. He does things with doves that have never been done before.
That's true. That is true. Now, the front row of the stall's in fear of their lives.
Second on the bill, Rita Glott, a banjo, a trampoline, and a handful of ditties.
Yes, but underneath her, what's the next name, eh? See? Also appearing, Kay Williams.
Spelt K-A-Y, I noticed.
Well, that was the only way I could get into the chorus line.
You in the chorus line?
Oh, times were hard in those days. Yes. You had to take what you could get.
I think you're making all this up, said he, hoping to avoid legal proceedings. Let us press on with another soul-searing, heart-burning episode in the romantic story of Meg and Tone. Chapter 93, Should a Woman Reveal All?
Where are you, my pearl, my many-splendid thing? Oh, my precious stone set in a silver sea on which the sun never sets.
I'm here trying to get a word in edgeways.
Why didn't you tell me, you silly old turnip?
My old fella has chanced upon the loving keepsake you gave me.
Oh, not that old Battle of Britain shaving mug.
No, the one you gave me on VE Day. Your air raid warden's whistle.
Oh, what memories I have of that whistle. Oh, we had it all in front of us then, Meg.
Yes, it's all behind us now.
Not all of it, surely.
Well, it is now he's found your whistle.
Oh.
I heard him blowing on it when he was watching the telly.
Are you sure
Yes.
it was my whistle he was blowing? He makes a whistling noise all the time, especially when he's excited.
Yeah, no, I'd know your whistle anywhere. Remember in the Blitz how how you used to come and inspect my gas, Mouse.
I do. I remember your first blackout as well. I won't get a chance like that again. All alone under your kitchen table.
Oh, our finest hour, Toad.
More than an hour. We was there 3 days. Remember? Missed the all clear 'cause of Vera Lynn on the wireless.
Anyway, I've told my old fella all about it.
You silly old tea cake.
I feel much better now. It's off me conscience.
But what did he say when you told him?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, I turned up the volume on the telly so he never heard.
Problem Corner. And to remind us that round every silver lining there's a dark cloud, here is our problem man of the week.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse, partner, and my problem is that I find space travel very distressing.
Then don't go. Ask to be excused.
I haven't finished. I find it distressing because every rocket they send up contains 465 cubic feet of air.
Well, you can't expect the crew to hold their breath.
But what about us down here? If they go on at this rate, there won't be enough air to go round. We'll all suffocate.
Perhaps the government will start a rationing system.
Oh, the trouble is, my wife is a very heavy breather. Especially when she's asleep. That's why I've started holding air at home for my loved ones.
Where? In the airing cupboard?
No. I have purchased an army surplus barrage balloon and we've been working in shifts to blow it up. So far, we've got 15 years' supply, providing no one gets hiccups.
That's very reassuring.
Yes, except our balloons filled every room in the house. So last week we had to move to a bigger house.
How very inconvenient.
It was, yes. And then we had another little problem.
Yes?
Yes. To get the balloon out of the house, we had to let it down.
Once again, it's Cracker Jack and Ori with Mother Time. And Hotfoot from Gnomesville, here comes Maud Netherstone.
Hello, Tinies. And Biggies, too. Once upon a time, there was a goose called Grace who had this insane ambition to become a swan. She was always saying, "Rubbish," said her mother. "You aren't tall enough, and swans have very nasty habits." But Grace wouldn't be put off. And, walking in the farmyard, she met a battery hen who was off to market for a recharge. Said Grace. "Quack, quack," said the hen, who was visiting a psychiatrist twice a week.
Be yourself, Grace. You'll be much happier for it.
And so saying, she tried to swim across the pond and was instantly drowned. So, Grace spread her wings and flew to Covent Garden and made a big success in Swan Lake. She was the one always at the end of the back row with the baggy tights and the big feet. Nobody noticed she wasn't a real dancer because at Covent Garden they all walk like that anyway. And there she would be to this very day if she hadn't built a nest in the prompt corner. But that's another story. And I think it's time we had a song. And this one's called The Lady and the Sailor. A lady loved a sailor boy who sailed the ocean green. a jolly Jack with eyes of blue and silver buckles on his shoe. And as his height was 6'2", there was lots of him in between. He told her tales of foreign lands and wild seafaring days, with interruptions now and then from his parrot, name of Ben, who sang a song about a hen with a nautical turn of phrase. A lady loved a sailor boy who sailed the rolling main, and now she waits beside the shore. He's been at sea a year or more. He's got a lot to answer for, and she never found out his name.
In case any of you are wondering where to spend your next holiday, we now bring you a special holiday edition of Vardaying Back.
Oh, hello, I'm Bobby Larkin of Larkin's Holiday Camp, and this is my camp manager, Butch.
Oh, hello! Oh, how very bracing to Vardy your eye-catching beach ensemble.
It's not a beach ensemble, it's my Donegal tweed two-piece, which I've had restyled with flared bottoms.
Flared bottoms! Oh. Coles to Newcastle in your case, Duffy.
Nanty with the mockers, dear.
Oh.
Nanty mockers.
Sorry.
Remember our motto, a happy camper in every chalet.
I'm sure I've done all I can. I've only got one pair of hands, you know.
Must pardon my friend here, we had a little upset during the carnival week.
Little, he says.
Little upset.
Little, tell him who it was got crowned holiday queen during the... during the Battle of Flowers. Me!
Yes.
Oh, the shame of it.
Yes. Well, I've told you before about that beach hat of yours. You will wear it, won't you?
I didn't last year, and what happened? I got knocked senseless by a plastic geranium.
It's only natural for them to throw the pots as well. Well, I mean, they're in a holiday mood, aren't they?
I can see you're all one big happy family.
Oh, we are, yes, we are, yes.
Yes, 6 to a chalet and everyone pally.
Yes.
That's another one of our camp mottos.
No doubt, but where exactly is this holiday camp?
Oh, plumb in the middle of an exotic stretch of the coast where the azure sea laps lazily on the sun-drenched sand.
Yes, but where?
Mablethorpe. That's between the Wash and Grimsby.
Yes. It is truly a romantic locale.
Oh,
truly is,
truly.
isn't it? Truly. Really and truly. To gaze across the sea with the wind blowing in your hair, listen to the thudding of the scurf.
Surf, not surf. You great nana.
Oh, surf, yes.
Well, yes.
And, of course, we have the resident lifeguard and babysitter. Uncle day and night is very versatile.
Tell him his name. Go on. Tell him his name. It's Clap Hands, Here Comes Clint, isn't it?
Yes. Clap your hands, here comes Clint. Yes. Mostly they do.
Yes. And tell him what happened when you put him in charge of the camp entertainment.
Oh, I can't.
Go
It's a
on.
closed chapter. I can't.
Tell him.
No.
Closed chapter. Well, reopen it. Go on, purge yourself.
No.
Tell him.
No. All right. Well, you see, Clint organised this Mother's Day ball.
What? Go on.
We're dancing to Edmundo Pomfret and his swinging cavalier.
Oh, it's a lovely fella.
Lovely.
Come from the Latin Quarter of Ramsgate.
But the high spot of the evening was a talent contest with a guest celebrity to give the prize.
And tell him the name of the guest celebrity.
Wait.
Tell him.
Yes.
Tell him.
Miss Frozen Codswell.
No wonder it was frozen. All she had on was a velvet cloak covered in fish heads and a gold lame sou'wester.
Yeah.
And all she had on.
Yes. Then he rode up. All the contestants come onto the stage to show what they could do, and the winner was a singing lady accordionist.
I keep telling you, she wasn't singing.
Oh.
Great nana. She told me afterwards. That last encore nearly ruined her holiday.
Well, it was her own fault. She should have worn a vest under a bikini, shouldn't she?
Picture the scene, Ducky. The ballroom crammed with happy suntanned eeks. The contest winner steps forward to receive her prize.
Day trip to Grimsby in a tin of pilchards.
Yes. There's a fanfare from Edmundo Pomfret heralding the entrance of our guest celebrity, Miss Frozen Codsrow. And where is she? Not there, Ducky. No. She wasn't there, was she?
No.
No.
Neither was Clint.
No. Tell him who come on in her place.
Oh, no, I can't.
Tell him.
I can't.
Tell him who swept onto the stage in a flurry of feathers and fish heads. Go on. Tell him.
Well, I always fancied myself in velvet.
Time to meet our wandering pop group, Peter, Paul and Mrs. Nosepoultice.
Hi, man.
Pleased to meet you.
I'll groove it, man. I'll groove it.
Do you? Well, your private life's no concern of ours. Are you going to sing?
We are, yes. And here's a song from the heart of the glorious West.
Yeah, West Hartlepool.
And I remember it well.
A lady up in Halifax had trouble with her neighbour.
All night he played the Alto Saxon Overture by Weber.
Every night she'd bang upon the wall. Every night she'd bang upon the wall. Every night she'd bang upon the wall, which ruined her wallpaper. She said it's more than I can stand, but as he wouldn't heed her,
She bought herself a trumpet and the music of Aida.
Every night she'd pucker up and blow. Every night she'd pucker up and blow. Every night she'd pucker up and blow. Then sing some Schubert Lieder.
But when she played some Mendelssohn, her plan somehow miscarried.
she found she'd played the wedding march, and that's how they got married.
Every night they're playing a duet. Every night they're playing a duet. Very soon they may be a quartet.
And then they'll start on Mozart.
Time now for our film adaptation. This week, the classic story of the Englishman who was raised in the jungle by the wild creatures who live in the trees. Yes, it's Tarzan of the Budgies.
That's me, Tarzan. As our story opens, I'm in a jungle clearing wrestling with my barrel-chested, hairy little playmate.
Oh, stop it, you fool! It's about time you got yourself a decent job, Tarzan. Like that nice gorilla in the next clearing. It's all very well being Lord of the Jungle, but it doesn't put the tea in the caddy. I want a bit of pawpaw in the larder.
Right.
Oh, you jungle fresh gigolo. Hey, look! Who's this coming into the clearing?
It's my monkey friend whom I call Cheetah, on account of how he plays cards. Speak, you little rascal.
What's he say?
He said, That's all he ever says.
I'm only a chimpanzee. What do you expect? Quotations must go wild? All I'm allowed to say is...
Cheetah says, great silver bird is crushed in jungle, needs help. I must go, Jane.
The lithe, bronzed figure scrambled to the top of a tree, grasped one of his lianas, and swung off into space with his famous cry.
I keep telling you, that's the only tree for miles, but will you listen?
Meanwhile, at the scene of the air crash, the pilot pulls a limp form from the wreckage and starts to fill it in.
Well, the Ministry of Civil Aviation are so fussy. My name is Licorice Knee Whistle, Nobel Prize winner for science, round the world yachtsman, leading goal scorer in the First Division, best-selling novelist and dirty great fibber.
And I'm Mavis, his devoted secretary and that.
Wait! What's that swinging through the trees?
Oh, yes, it's a fella. He's coming nearer.
How do? Me Tarzan. You come in Great Silver Bird, right?
Right.
Aye. When you come in a proper aeroplane?
Silver birds are cheaper. They are inclined to crash.
Why have you come here to the African jungle?
We are searching for the legendary graveyard of the ants. If we find it, we'll make a fortune from the ivory tusks.
I've never seen a dead ant with tusks.
Exactly, nobody has. So, where do they all go to die? Well, I have here a map showing the exact location of the ants' graveyard.
Will you help us find it, Tarzan?
Why not? I've not got much on at the moment.
I've noticed.
But first, let's have a meal.
The Lord of the Jungle produced a frozen dinner for 3 from his loincloth.
I'm glad to get rid of that.
The following day, they set off through the African jungle, played with consummate artistry by me, Douglas Smith. In the interest of verisimilitude, I've draped myself with leaves.
Why have you got your hand on your hip like that?
I'm waiting for a frond. I am dense, green, and rather wet.
I'll buy that.
We won't have time, look! All around, menacing us with their spears.
There, you put your try.
The natives moved closer until they were in a tight circle round the 3 travellers. Then suddenly they began the famous tribal dance of the Yapucha tribe.
You put your left foot in, you put your left foot up, you put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You are just in time for dinner. Write your names in this.
Is it a visitor's book?
No, it is a menu. Tie them up, men, and throw them in the pot. Very good. Now, turn on the radio. We are just in time.
I'm gonna have you some. I'm telling you the quiet life is quite the life for me.
Oi, what's the recipe today, Jim? Oh, for pity's sake, have mercy on us!
All right, I turn him off. But I am leaving you 3 to simmer. I am going to set the table.
Are you calling your animal friends, Tarzan?
No, lasses, this water is getting hot. It's my little friend Cheetah come to rescue us.
With a knife and fork in his hand.
No, look, it's just a knife.
Oh, just a knife.
Yeah, that's it. Got the ropes, Cheetah. Our ropes as well, not just hers. Hey, come back here. Hey, he's getting ideas above his station, the cheeky monkey.
But in fact, he did come back for the other 2, and they did eventually find the ants' graveyard.
We made a fortune supplying ivory for teensy-weensy chesses.
And to this day, the natives still sing about the exploits of the mighty Tarzan.
He flies through the air as he swings from the trees.
The idol and envy of all chimpanzees.
His loincloth, it tends to slip down round his knees.
No wonder he's stolen away.
Which brings us to the end of our film adaptation. Time only for a final thought from Kenneth Williams.
If you placed 1,000,000 worms end to end in a straight line from the Earth to the Moon, one of them would be bound to wriggle and spoil it.
That was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Johnnie Mortimer and Brian Cooke and Myles Rudge. The producer was John Simmons.
So, you refuse to talk, eh? Very well, there are certain ways to make you talk. First, I put my finger here and twist. So, and again, but this time a little further. Aha! Still silent. Very well, once more. So, now perhaps you will speak.
Hello, caller. Director inquiries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
No, stop messing about. Hello and welcome. In answer to many requests, I've gone to the trouble of having it traced. Yes, and mimeograph copies are available to anyone who's interested.
Yes, is anybody going to ask what he's had traced?
Not likely.
I don't want to know.
You don't have to ask. You can see. Here it is. Look. Goes back for centuries, it does. Yes. The Williams family tree.
Oh, yes, what's that at the bottom of it?
The Williams family dog.
No, it isn't, smart socks. Yes. That's me. Yes, the last of the breed. And I may say, it proves why I've always suspected. See that offshoot on the left? I'm in direct line of succession.
Yes, to what, though?
The throne! Yes, it only needs 70 million people to snuff it, and I'm in there, King Kenny the First.
King?
Do you know how it come about? In 1825, the Prince Regent used to go to Bath once a year. Yes, it is. And my great-great-great-grandauntie used to scrub his back. I don't want to go into all the sordid details.
Oh, why not?
Oh, all right, then. They became, Prinny and Grandauntie, what you might call firm chums. And from this liaison, that's actual French, came my great-great-uncle Arbuthnot. And do you know what that made him?
I can guess.
759th in the line of succession. But we've been losing ground ever since. Well, they're so fertile, these aristocrats.
I've got a few notables as well, you know, in my family. Does the name Sir Walter Paddick strike a familiar note?
No.
Emily Pank Sims.
Oh, she's off.
Last of the militant suffragettes, one of my relatives, chained herself to the railings outside number 10.
You're making it
Oh,
up.
no, I'm not. She's still there. She wanted to vote for women. We'd had it for years, but she wouldn't be told.
Yes, well, that's all very interesting.
Robin Paddick of Sherwood Forest. He was another.
Was he?
Oh, yes. Used to rob from the poor and give it to the rich. He knew which side his bed was buttered on. Used to knock about with Maid Marian. Or was it Little John?
William Shakesmith, ever heard of him? Stratford-on-Avon, 1564. Used to do a bit of scribbling, radio and television scripts mostly.
In 1564?
He was ahead of his time. And speaking of time, said he glibly, it's time now to pick up the romantic story of our star-crossed lovers, Meg and Tone.
Where are you, my morning star, my harvest moon, my aurora borealis?
I'm right behind you.
What about time too, you silly old muffin? Meet me by the phone box at 1:30, you said.
I said by it, not inside it, Tone. I walked past twice without seeing you.
Well, I had to come inside because I was getting provocative looks from the lady in the laundrette.
Oh.
Winking at me over her spin dryer.
Well, it's the steam makes her like that. Full of steam, that laundrette is.
We're not doing so bad in here, huh?
I couldn't get here no sooner because of my old fella. I've sent him up west to have a look at the post office tower.
Have you? Oh,
Yes.
that'll give him something to think about.
Yes, it will. It'll remind him of the old days.
Yes, the good old days when he worked for the post office, didn't he? Yes, sorta he was.
Sort of what?
Mail.
Oh, he still is. Oh, he's in full command of all his facilities. It's just that his memory lets him down now and then.
No good having the facilities if you can't remember what they're for. Still, I suppose that's better than the other way round.
Yes. Anyway, I asked you to meet me here because I've got something to tell you.
Oh, what?
We can't go on meeting like this, Tony.
You're dead right, we can't.
If he knew we was here together in this phone box, he'd jump right off the top of the post office tower. Jump clean off it, he would. That's why I made him take his umbrella.
Well, you needn't have bothered.
How do you mean?
I've just seen him crossing the road with a lady from the laundrette.
Problem Corner. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now, as we welcome our problem man of the week.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse, partner, and my problem is I keep getting this ambivalent feeling.
Oh, I am sorry.
Haven't finished. This ambivalent feeling about staircases. I've only to clap eyes on a staircase and I start having a sort of love-hate relationship with it.
Really? How does it take you?
Well, I love going up, I hate coming down. So I keep getting marooned at the top of high buildings.
But can't you come down by lift?
Oh, I daresn't set foot in a lift. The sight of all the buttons might prove irresistible to my passionate nature.
Yes, but in them you might love coming down and hate going up. Then you'd be all right.
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Well, if I started playing around with the lifts, I'd feel I was betraying my staircases. I've already got a revolving door on my conscience.
How very painful.
I spent all night in it, going round and round. But wasn't no good though. I couldn't forget my staircases. That is why I have moved to a bungalow on a deserted bit of coast near Land's End.
Very wise. You'll be able to get staircases right out of your system.
Well, not entirely. You see...
Yes?
I'm right next door to the lighthouse.
Once again, it's Cracker Jack and Ori with Mother Time, and with a hop, skip and a jump, here comes Bouncing Maud Nethersoul.
Hello, Tinies, and Biggies too. Isn't going to bed fun? Especially when there's someone there to tell you a story. Well, here's one that'll send you off to the land of Nod in less than no time. Long ago, there lived a brother and sister called Hansel and Gretel, both of whom were sopranos, but rather stunted. One day, Gretel said to Hansel,
I feel like a tramp in the woods. How about you?
And Hansel replied, but after some recitative and a quick aria, off they went. However, living in the wood, there was a witch called Maisie, who was in a very bad temper because she'd just failed an audition for Macbeth. They said her cauldron was too big and her legs weren't good enough to wear a kilt. And she put a spell on everyone in sight, and Hansel and Gretel fell asleep for 100 years, just as they were about to render We'll Gather Lilacs. And that silenced both of them for quite a time, as it did all of you. A passing fairy godmother whose flight had been delayed by fog took pity on them all, and before you could say goody two-shoes, there was a complete transformation, and they all had the last waltz with Engelbert Humperdinck. But now, it's time for the song, and here is a very jolly marching song. Do you hear the marching feet? It's the centipedes on parade. Marching proudly down the street is the centipedes on parade. Hear them shouting left, right, left as they march along. Ooh, think of the pain for a centipede if part of him gets it wrong. Wives and girlfriends all are there for the centipedes on parade. Tonight they'll tango round the square to a centipede serenade. Then arm in arm they'll seal off home by various different routes. And beside the bed of each centipede there'll be 200 pairs of boots.
This week's edition of Varding Back takes a frank look at the oil industry. We bring you a personal interview with two men who have spent their whole working lives in oil.
Oh, hello, I'm the developments manager of Jeunesse Dorée Oil Company, and this is my top geologist, Rock.
Oh, hello! Oh, how very lubricating to Vardy, your transcontinental pipeline. You'd never think, would you? You'd never think he'd spent all morning washing sand out of his theodolite.
No. Dare I ask how it got there?
Of course you dare. We just come back from the Middle East, love. Did have a time with those Bedouins?
Oh, we did. Oh, those Bedouins. Oh. Tell him what you had to do to get a concession out of that old sheik.
Oh, I dare say. No, your modesty forbid.
Go on.
The laughing stock of the refinery.
Go on, tell him.
No!
Tell him.
No!
Tell him.
Oh, all right. Well, we found this oil well, you see, on a bit of a land belonging to this sheik.
Tell him his name.
No.
Tell him his name.
No.
Go on, it was Abu Ben Clint.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Oh, he drove a hard bargain.
Oh, and 3 Cadillacs as well. Oh, loaded he was. Did you see the jewels all over his abble-babble?
What?
Encrusted it was. Crafted it was. Oh, no.
Any road up, just as I'm about to start negotiating, in comes his wives with the dinner.
365 of them, Ducky. 365. One for each day of the year.
Yeah. I thought February the 29th looked a bit down in the mouth, didn't you?
Only comes round once every 4 years.
Oh.
Tell him about the dinner.
Yes.
The dinner.
Dinner, yes, dinner. All the dinner took a bit of getting through, didn't it?
Oh.
Now, 16 courses, each one a different part of the sheet.
Starting at the head and working backward.
Oh, I got ever so worried around about the 15th course.
No, it's not that I mind eating the tail. No, I just wish they'd taken the wool off first.
Yeah. Well, any road up. I was getting beside myself at this time. Been there 3 hours, I had. Hadn't even opened up negotiations, had I?
No,
Hey?
you hadn't.
No.
He wouldn't give you a chance.
No.
Picture the scene, Ducky.
Yeah.
There's my friend sitting on this Arabian puff, longing. No, they haven't. Hello.
Yes. Hand embroidered, this was.
Yes, sitting on this leather puff. Longing to get on with the Polari. But will this sheik listen? Will he listen?
No, he won't.
No.
Every time I open my mouth, he shoves some food in it.
Yes, shove some food. At last he could bear it no longer.
No longer.
He had to speak, didn't
Yes,
you?
I had to.
You
I
had
had
to speak.
to,
And tell
yes.
him what you said.
No, I can't.
Go on,
No,
go on.
I can't.
Tell him what you said when the sheik leaned across the table and offered you a date.
I said, all right, but only if I can bring my friend.
Keeping abreast of developments on the pop scene, we bring you news of the latest releases. And here are 3 who were released on bail last Monday. Peter, Paul and Mrs. Nosepoultice.
Nice to meet you.
It's a going scene, man. It's a going scene.
Is it? Well, perhaps you'd better sing before it disappears through the hole in the middle.
That's her, I'm sure.
I can hardly wait to hear it.
A fella called Brady once called on a lady, and she was an osteopath named Flo.
He just said good morning and then, without warning,
She rolled up her sleeves and she said, here we go.
she said, here we go. She said, here we go.
And started before he had time to say no.
She found there was tension just where I won't mention.
And gave him a terrible thump on his rear.
Her elbow was roaming around his abdomen.
And where his right leg was, he had no idea.
He had no idea, he had no idea.
It felt like she'd shoved it behind his right ear.
When Brady was able to rise from her table,
He said, I came round here because I was told you felt discontented with the telly you've rented. I've just come to look at your vertical hold.
Your vertical hold, your vertical hold. He said, it seems fine, but your hands are half cold.
Time now for our film adaptation. This week, a bawdy restoration comedy. The Adventures of Dando Tweakshaft.
The time, the 18th century. The place, a small coaching inn called the Old Dunco. I'm Moll Bouncy, the servant wench. I wait upon the table, but not for long. I'm madly in love with my boyfriend Dando, and so is he.
And why not? I'm a lusty country lad, Moll. I don't like the way that lecherous old Squire Upjohn do come in here, a-grabbing and a-lusting and a-making lewd suggestions.
He's never done that.
Well, not to you, maybe. Oh, but Moll, if he ever does...
Oh, Moll, I'm starving.
Oh, Squire.
I'm looking forward to getting me teeth into your famous pasties.
I heard that.
Dando leapt at the squire. The squire drew a sword. Dando drew a flower in a pot, and the squire drew a pussycat. Dando drew a house with smoke coming from the chimney, and coloured it with crayons.
I yield! You'll regret this, you young whelp. I carry a lot of weight in these parts.
And in those parts.
How dare you! You dastard!
I beg your pardon.
oh, run, Dando, run! The Squire is a hard man when he's pressed.
Having quarrelled with the squire, Dando was on the run. He turned to crime, at first in a small way.
Stand and deliver your lollipop or your life. Right, forget it.
Later on, he fell in with the notorious highwayman, Jack Rotflannel.
Step me vitals, lad.
What, here?
one of the gentry what filches the gold from the pockets of the poor innocent travellers. When I pass by, honest men turn their faces to the wall.
And then what do they do?
I don't want to discuss it, lad, but it ain't respectful. Oh, I'm hated and feared. There's 1,000 guineas on me head.
It suits you.
Thank you, lad. I've taken a fancy to ye. Will ye throw in your lot with me?
I'd like that.
That night, beside the highway, two shadowy figures lurked in the bushes. They were up to no good.
Oh, look at them.
Well, never mind them, lad. There's no time to watch courting couples. Here comes the coach with the rich gentry and their ladies aboard. Right, get out there and hold them up.
Right. Stand and deliver!
Oh, Pussy, look! We're being held up by a highwayman. How quaint!
Your money or your wife?
I think he means life, dear.
Leave the man alone, Percy. He knows what he's doing. Hello there, young man! Are you going to hold my husband at pistol point while you take advantage of me?
Why, I can't do both at once, can I?
Well, I'll hold the pistols for you.
In fact, not today. No, actually, it's your purse I'm after.
Good grief, it's me he wants.
No. It's your gold coins.
Dando was now on the run from the law, but he kept one jump ahead of them, thanks to his trusty steed, polka-dotted Bess. Played with deep psychological insight by myself, Douglas Smith. I'm a fine figure of a horse, 14 hands and a bit in my mouth.
The mind boggles.
You can tell my age by looking at my teeth.
Pass them round amongst yourselves. Let him have them back before lunch. They're on hire.
Back to the plot.
Oh, Dando, you should never have come back here to the old Dun Cow. The law will be after you.
Ah, I know, Moll. I just galloped 90 miles over rough country.
Has your trusty Douglas Smith had his oats?
Ah, you bet he has.
Open up! Open up in the name of the law!
I know that voice. It's Harry Cobean, the Bow Street runner. Quick, Dando. Hide under my hoop skirt.
That's the first place he'll think of looking. Oh, all right.
Right. Where is it?
Oh, surely you don't mean... Oh! Dando, Tweakshaft, the highwayman. He hasn't been here for weeks, but I am but an innocent... Oh, mate!
What's that noise? I thought so. There's someone hiding under your skirts. Come on out, Dando, or do I have to come in after you, I hope?
I surrender. It's all your fault, Mole.
Why?
Well, it's a ridiculous place to keep a lavender bag.
Some time later, the scene, Tyburn Tree. The public are gathered round the awful scaffold. Dreaded noose was placed around Dando's neck.
Any last requests?
Yes, I have. Good, I have.
It should have gone before you came. No time for a haircut now.
Suddenly, a voice from the crowd.
Dando, it is I, Moll. I've brought your trusty steed. Jump!
Dando flung aside the hangman, leapt astride his horse, and galloped off in the direction of Richmond. Unfortunately, he forgot to remove the rope first.
Oh! Anyone got a throat pistol?
Dando did escape, and the song that grew up round his legend can still be heard today, if your luck's out.
He is a famous highwayman, highwayman. He holds up every coach he can, coach he can. He's robbed the men and the women he has wooed.
Except when I'm in a funny mood.
So ends our short film adaptation. It would have been longer if it hadn't been for the repeal of the Corn Law. The producer would only allow one old joke per page. Time only for a quick word from Joan Sims.
Ladies, bring a little romance back into your marriage. If your husband liked that filmy black negligee you wore on honeymoon, why not give it to him?
That was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Johnnie Mortimer and Brian Cooke and Myles Rudge. The producer was John Simmons.
Police station.
Oh, come quick. There's a man trying to break down my bedroom door. It's bound to give way in a minute. It's only got a cheap lock on it. Oh, dear. Do hurry, he's nearly through. It won't be long before. Ah!
Madam, what's your address, madam? Are you still there?
He's broken down the door and got out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
Ah, stop messing about. Hello and welcome. Well, I suppose you all read about me in the Sunday papers this week, huh?
Was that you, Mr. X of the Surbiton Balloons and Treacle scandal?
No, it was not. I wish it had been. Who can afford a chandelier that size? No, I meant my serialised war memoirs. How I sneaked up behind Hitler and shortened it by 3 weeks. You see that? You see it?
I saw the first instalment, yes. I saw the photo of you leaping out of a landing craft, proudly waving this big flag. White it was.
Better safe than sorry. That was at Normandy. I was responsible for the very first assault on the beach there. I'm responsible.
That doesn't entirely surprise me.
Yes, mentioned in dispatches I was, for taking a pillbox single-handed.
You found it in a medical orderly's knapsack.
Yes. I don't know what the pills were, mind. But I haven't had the same pleasure out of life since. Oh, it was hell on those beaches. Oh, hell. I never thought I'd come out alive.
And did you?
Oh, satire. Be sharp out the knife box. I'll have you know I was decorated by none other than Rommel himself. A brilliant general, but a bit short-sighted.
Now, listen, wait a minute. I've been standing here working it out.
Have you?
The landing on the Normandy beaches was in 1944.
Yes.
That means you were 4 years old.
I wonder why they issued me with a bucket and spade instead of a rifle. Yes, that occurred
If
to me.
you don't mind my saying so, Mr. Williams, I would conjecture that the entire thing is mendacious taradiddle.
Oh, bless you for those few kind words, Douglas. Carry on and Nancy.
Thank you. Problem Corner. Here, spreading a little tragedy as he goes by, is our problem man of the week.
My name is Clarence J. Mousepartner, and my problem is I have this awful dread every time I turn on the television.
And we all have that.
I haven't finished.
Oh.
This awful dread that they'll do a series of programmes about how I was Monty's right-hand man in the Middle East campaign.
Oh, were you?
No, I wasn't. I spent the whole war managing a naffy in East Grinstead. So I have written to the BBC.
Really?
I said Clarence J. Mousepartner was never in the Middle East, and whoever says he was is a liar. And I signed it, a well-wisher.
Did they reply?
Yes. They said, "Dear Mr. A. Well-wisher, we have passed your letter to our legal department."
Well, I don't think you need worry.
Oh, but I do.
I thought you might.
Don't interrupt. Suppose I find myself in court for having libelled myself.
Well, one of you would be bound to win.
But one of me is bound to lose. And I'd have to pay the legal costs on both sides, which would ruin both of us. That is why I have taken out an insurance policy.
Very wise move.
Yes, but it presents another little problem.
What's that?
I can't afford the premium.
Once again, it's Cracker Jack and Ori with Mother Time, and adjusting the pom-pom on her naughty bonnet, here comes Twinkling Maud Nethersole.
Hello, Tinies. And Biggies, too. Goodness, what cold hands the fishmonger has. That's because he spends all day handling fish, who live in a place that's very cold and wet, which brings me to our story. Once there was a lonely mermaid called Edith, who felt terribly out of the swim, and after a hair-raising blind date with an octopus, she developed an allergy to fish. So she used to sit on a rock singing, "What shall we do with a drunken sailor?" Rather a hypothetical question in her case, for reasons I'd rather not go into. But one day she heard a young turtle saying,
"Oh, thanks, how very perceptive of you to notice,"
said Edith, who was extremely proud of her bel canto, which had taken years to develop. The turtle, whose name was Charles, told her how he'd run away from home because his father, known as Old Soupy, was always getting canned. He joined Turtles Anonymous, disguised as a haddock, but they told him regretfully that he'd never be cured. Anyway, Charles the turtle looked so miserable that Edith tried to cheer him up. "How about another song?" she said, and launched into one fish ball, hoping it would bring Charles out of his shell. And it did, right out, for he wasn't really a turtle at all, but a prince who'd been turned into a frogman by a wizard who couldn't spell. And that's why he turned turtle. I hope you're still with me. Anyway, now it's time for the song. And with any luck, here's one from the days when knights were bold. A lady sat in a castle high and saw a knight who was riding by. She shouted down to the knight below with a most inviting smile. "It's rather a long way up, I know, but the view makes it well worthwhile." The knight got down from his piebald mare. He crossed her moat and he climbed her stair. To find her room took an hour or so, and then of all the luck, he couldn't even say hello, 'cause the hinge of his helmet stuck. And when at last he had loosed the screw and removed his spurs and his breastplate too, the lady said with a nervous cough, "I don't wish to sound unkind, but now that you've got all your armor off,
Well, I find that I've changed my mind.
And now, unfurl the bugles, blow the banners. It's time now for my correspondence corner, devoted this week to indoor games.
The other day at a party, we played an exciting game called Musical Beds.
Is that like musical chairs?
Yes, but it's much harder to get a volunteer to play the piano.
I'm often asked what is a good game to while away an afternoon. I say blow football.
And I say tish to cricket.
And may I add, I have my own unique method of playing blow football.
I don't think I want to hear
What
about
I usually do is I get behind my opponent's goal and I suck.
Well, if that's what turns you on.
Yes.
Years I've been looking for a partner for a fast game of ping.
What about the pong?
I think that's what's putting them off.
My boyfriend got me in the back row of the cinema last night and, well, he's ever so passionate and, well, after a bit I felt one of my straps go. Well, I didn't feel it, I sort of heard it. You know the sound they make.
Snap.
Oh, it's happened to you as well, has it?
I have bought a little wooden bow and arrow. The arrow has a sucker on the end, and it only costs 15 guineas.
Sounds like there's a sucker on both ends to me.
Last night I went in off the cushion, you see.
You are talking about billiards, I hope.
What else? And afterwards I took a long rest. Well, it's such an awkward position,
Yes,
you see.
well, that's all the letters we have time for.
Well, I took my cue. Here, get your hands off me. You can't just cut off my...
Oh, yes, we can. This week, Varding Beck takes a look at the thrilling world of the racing driver as we meet two of the fastest men on wheels.
Hello, my name's Ben, and this is my co-driver, her.
Hello! Oh, lovely to be back. Oh, how very accelerating to Varda the chromium trim on your bumpers.
Thank you, and permit me to compliment you on the styling of your bonnet.
Oh, any bold! It's not a bonnet, Ducky. It's a custom-built crash helmet.
With broderie anglaise ruching.
The only reason I stuck that on is so it matches me overalls, Miss Clever Clogs.
Oh, he's a great one for the matching accessories, aren't you? Even got a bow on his dipstick, haven't you?
So I know what it is when I'm stripping down the engine.
I believe there's a lot of money in being a racing driver.
Oh, no, not when you start, love. No. For years I was living on the smell of oil rag.
Wreaked havoc with his sinuses.
Oh! One day, everything seemed to fall into place.
It didn't fall, Ducky, it was pushed.
Oh, no.
And tell him who pushed it.
I can't. No, I can't. No.
What? Tell him.
Rather draw the veil.
Draw the veil? It's a bit late for drawing veils, isn't it? If you Salome act, go on. Brazen it out.
No!
Brazen it out. Yes, go on. You ran into this fella, didn't you? Come on.
Well, he ran into me, really.
Yes, go on.
See, I was just admiring his hubcaps when he started up the engine.
Bang! Bang, Ducky.
Yes.
Fell right on his big end.
Oh! Ruined me no claim bonus. Any road up, he turned out to be a top Italian racing driver.
And tell him his name.
No.
Tell him his name.
No.
Tell him his name. It was Luigi Clintola.
Luigi Clintola, yeah. What he didn't know about internal combustion wasn't worth knowing.
What a beautifully tuned engine.
Perfect pitch he had. Oh, and very musical he was.
Oh, very, yes. Lovely tenor voice he had. His La Donna e Mobile was a treat for the ears.
Oh, yes. And his Donna wasn't the only thing that was mobile, was it? Not by a long chalk. Tell him about the time you hung your handbag on his choke. Oh, I can't.
No, I dare.
Tell him. Go on.
Shall I?
Yes.
All right, I will. He took me up on this lonely stretch of road, you see, and he said he'd teach me a 3-point turn. That's when it happened.
Yes. Picture the scene, Ducky. There they are on this mountain road. An advert for life insurance on the one side and a 1,000-foot drop on the other. My friend takes the wheel and starts doing his 3-point turn.
Slow, slow, quick, slow.
Suddenly, Luigi's eek goes dead white beneath his tan. Mamma mia, he screams. But did you take any notice of his Mamma mia?
No, I thought he was having a little sing.
A little sing? You only had your back wheels hanging over the cliff.
I know.
That's all.
I know.
And tell him what you said.
I can't.
Tell him what you said.
I can't.
Tell him what you said when Luigi grabbed the wheel and implored you to use the driving mirror.
I can't. No.
Tell him what you said.
Don't mention the mirror, please.
Tell him what you said when you looked in it. Tell him what you said.
No. I looked in and I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
Time now for our weekly focus on the folk scene. And here, once seen, instantly forgotten, are Peter, Paul and Mrs. Nosepoulty. Are you going to delight us with yet another chart buster?
Yes. Here's a song of ours which has just reached number 95 and is still moving.
Yes, last week it was 85.
Well, let me know when you reach a century.
Oh, Shenandoah, I love your auntie. Auntie Flo, who lives in Wembley. So can he marry her, or can't he?
He loves your Auntie Flo.
She makes me weak and trembly. Oh, Shenandoah, she's like a goddess. Like a goddess, Shenandoah.
A plastic rose upon her bodice.
That is cut extremely low. Wouldn't go much lower. Oh, Shenandoah, please won't you tell her?
Oh, his heart will break in pieces.
Unless, of course, she is a fella.
If so, then it's no good.
How about your nieces?
Time now for our film adaptation. This week, the story of a daring robbery. In the great tradition of Rififi and Topkapi, we present... Top Fifi.
My name is Noel Tweakshaft. Mastermind of the criminal underworld. My villa overlooks the harbour in Monte Carlo, and as I step out onto my balcony, a thought occurs to me. I haven't got a balcony. Oh! No matter. Achoo. I should tread water as I unfold my tale. It all began one day at a pavement cafe. Garçon! This pavement isn't cooked properly. Take it away, please, and bring me a lightly boiled curbstone. And to drink...
Oui, monsieur.
No, just me. Champagne. 47, I think.
The waiter brought him 47 bottles of champagne.
Thank you, waiter. Sit down. I wish to talk to you. What is your name?
Pierre, monsieur. I was born in Lancashire. They call me Wigan Pierre.
How very tiresome for you. How would you like to earn 10 million francs, Pierre?
Monsieur, you are far too generous.
I haven't told you what you have to do.
I wasn't born yesterday, monsieur. You are the master criminal, Noel Tweakshaft. You make your living by robbing rich women.
Robbing, not robbing. Less fun, but more money. Listen, Pierre. I'm gathering together a gang for a coup.
Coup?
You'll do. Meet me tonight.
Later the same day, a waterfront dive.
Oh, damn, I'm always doing that.
He clambered out and pushed open the door of the Club Taboo, famed for its torch singer Gabriello Fidget.
That's me. I sing with a torch in my mouth. Well, it's so dark in here, I can't see a hand in front of my... Oops! Yes, I can.
It's only me, my dear. I have a proposition to put to you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, what do you say?
I'll have to ask my mum. Mum, this gentleman wants me to take part in a daring stick-up.
Well, it's up to you, my dear. Long as you wear your Wellingtons.
Thank you, Mum. Oh, well, right, Mr. Tweakshaft, I'm one of you.
Could have fooled me, old chap. Right, meet me tonight.
That night, a small group gathered at the Villa Tweakshaft.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce my right-hand man, Chanda Billabong, known as Fingers for reasons that will become apparent as you get to know him better.
Thank you, Blue. Now, here's the setup, sports. This pommy poofdar here has dreamed up a fair dinkum scheme for robbing the casino.
Rob the casino? Impossible.
Don't come the raw prawn, Sheila. Noel here will twang his tonsils about it while I shoot through for a toot on me didgeridoo, Blue. Excuse me.
So ends this week's edition of Suivez la Kangaroo. Back to the plot.
Here are your individual instructions. Please read them out. First you, Pierre.
Marie, I am to wear a low-cut dress and flirt outrageously with the guard in order to distract him and then
Pierre,
get...
that can't be right.
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
No, I mean, you've got my instructions. I'm the one who's supposed to flirt outrageously with the guy. Here, wait a minute. Is it that tall fella with the wavy hair?
That's right.
Sorry, as you were.
1 week later, the master plan swung into action.
Right. Here we are in the sewer beneath the casino. You know what's going on up above?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what worries me, Blue. There's thousands of people up there, Blue. Won't they hear us breaking into the vault?
I, Douglas Smith, play the casino vault. And I have an incredibly complicated combination.
And what have you all got your number?
Be that as it may, outside me stands a casino guard.
Yes, that's me. I stand here grasping a small submachine gun, all set to spray any suspicious characters.
Hello, handsome.
Oh, heavens to Betsy, it's a woman. What's that you've got in your hand, miss?
A membership card to the Athenaeum.
But that's a club.
Exactly.
She hit him over the head with her teeth. He collapsed in a heap.
Yeah, stupid place to put a heap.
Father's not unconscious. Oh, well done, ma chérie. Help me to drag him up.
Oh, there's no time for that. The other two will be almost through to the vault.
We're through, Blue. We're inside the Douglas Smith. Look, piled up against his walls, millions of beautiful francs.
It's all right. It's us. I've got the keys from the guard. I can open the safe deposit box.
I think we should just take this money and go.
Ah, let's open the box.
Take the money.
Take the money. Take the money.
I'll open the box. Oh, here I go then.
Hand me the card. Don't look at it. That's the way. Oh, dear.
What have I won?
This week's booby prize. A plastic reproduction of Lord Elgin's marbles and a record of Les Compagnons de la Défense de Messing About singing the ballad of the Tweakshaft gang.
Oh, money, money, money. We never get enough of it. There's marks and francs in sundry banks. We thought we'd steal a bit.
A bit of it.
Our next big job, we tried to rob the little bank we knew.
We tunnelled and tunnelled and tunnelled and tunnelled.
Came up in the gendarme's loo.
And so ends this week's film adaptation. Time only for Joan Sims with a warning to the mini-skirted generation.
Watch out for tall dogs with cold noses.
That was Stop Messing About with Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Johnnie Mortimer and Brian Cooke and Myles Rudge. The producer was John Simmons.
Just look at that. You've got a ladder in your nylon stocking. Oh, really, it's not good enough. Here am I impeccably dressed for the occasion. You go and get a ladder in your stocking. Go and change, for heaven's sake.
All right, but don't rob the bank till I get back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick and Joan Sims in...
Nah, stop messing about. Hello and welcome to the last of the present series. I have written a few words in lieu...
Oh, it was you, was it?
Do you mind? In lieu of any formal announcement, I decided it was up to me to produce something, and here it is.
Well, you will keep it short, won't you?
That's enough. Now, first, my thanks to Hugh Paddick, my Costa.
Co-star.
Oh. Yeah, please yourself. Who has continually backed me up in every way. Oh, yes, really, the lovely fella. Lovely fella.
And we mustn't forget our leading lady, Joan Sims, who, when she came on the show, brought a certain something with her. And now we've all got it. Yes, enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Well, for my part, I'd like to mention our producer, Gene Simmons, one of the most friendly...
Gene? It's John Simmons. He's a fella.
Are you sure? Well, I mean, he's been sharing my dressing room since the series started.
Didn't you notice anything?
Well, yes. There was one little thing that puzzled me.
Go on, what was it?
Well, his handbag. It didn't match his army boots.
don't like to push myself forward.
Well, stop doing it then. Yes. Ah, Max Harris. Oh, sausage fingers. Ah, yes. Ably supported by his Denmark Street dropouts.
I have done quite a lot to...
Oh, yes, there's the writers. Thingamy, what's his name, and the other one. They should have a plug.
And a bath to go with it. Fair. That's it.
If it hadn't been for me, you would never...
Oh, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, our actual announcer, Douglas Smith, OBE, failed.
Thank you. And now, once again, we pick up the harrowing, soul-scorching story of our star-crossed lovers, Meg and Tone.
Where are you, my Turkish delight, my licorice all salt, my after-dinner mint? I stand trembling on the threshold of paradise, awaiting the summons of your dulcet tones.
Pardon?
Oh, I can't go through all that again, Meg. Why don't you listen, you silly old custard?
Well, I'm writing a farewell note to my old fella, Tony.
Oh.
How does this sound? Dear old fella.
It's all right so far.
It's time for the parting of the way. I've stood by you through thick and thin.
It's mostly thin.
But the writing is on the wall, and there's a cold sausage in the larder.
Very suitable in the circumstance.
For your supper. Yours faithfully, Meg. Your wife in brackets.
Well, he's had his chance, Meg. How long you two been together?
59 years come next Pancake Tuesday.
Oh, well, if you can't come to the boil after 59 years, either your gas has gone out or you got fur in your kettle. Anyway, there's a whole new life waiting for you in Great Yarmouth, Meg. How much luggage you got?
2 suitcases, 1 parcel, and the plastic bag from the laundrette.
Oh, I can't carry all that lot to the bus stop. I'm saving myself for Great Yarmouth.
Oh, you needn't worry about the bus, Tone.
How do you mean?
My old fella's gone for a taxi.
Oh!
Problem Corner. And to prove that a trouble shared is a trouble doubled, here is our Problem Man of the Week.
My name is Clarence J. Mouse Partner, and I'm deeply disturbed by all these natural gases.
Surely there's something you could take.
Haven't finished. But all these natural gases they've discovered in the North Sea, it's not fair to fish who have made it their home.
You're fond of fish?
I am, yes. But I don't relish eating something that is liable to explode in my face.
You should be all right if you don't smoke between courses.
But what effect will this gas have on me and my loved ones?
Well, I don't think we want to go into all that.
No, nobody does. But if they leave it till we all become airborne, it'll be too late.
Perhaps if you all wore very heavy shoes.
But you can't wear them in bed. We've tried. Tears the sheets. That is why me and my wife always sleep with sandbags tied round our waists. It's very inconvenient.
I'm sure it must be.
Last night I turned over quite suddenly and knocked her unconscious. However, I have thought of a solution.
Buy her a crash helmet?
No. He stopped eating fish. But now we've got another little problem.
What's that?
I can't get the sand out of the bed.
Once again, it's Crackerjack and Ori with Mother Time. So here is the toast of the tots, Mary Maud Nethersoul.
Hello, Tinies, and Biggies too. pockets exciting. And one finds such funny things in them, doesn't one? Here's a story about someone whose pocket was always absolutely bulging. He was a kangaroo called Wilkinson. And he rattled when he jumped. Clatter, 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 he went. Willie, said his mother, what have you got in your pocket? And he replied,
Funny puffer, a funny dimother, and a funny
I see, said his mother. Well, I suppose you've got to keep your bullseye somewhere. But in future, carry your boomerang under your arm. Otherwise, you could have a very nasty accident. But Wilkinson paid her no heed, and as it was leap year, he went out into the bush to practice leaping. A very dangerous thing to do with a bulging pocket. And before you could say tickety-boo, he'd fallen ears over tail into a billabong. Howsomever, when Wilkinson got home, he'd lost all his belongings. There was nothing in his pocket but some muddy water from the billabong. So now, instead of going clatter, 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 he goes slurp, slurp, slurp. And he's liable to have a little accident if he crosses his legs. Hence the expression, mud in your eye. But now, it's time for our song. Where have you been to, my son John? Where have you been to, where? And who is that lady with nothing on, who's sitting outside on the stair? She was down by the river, mother dear, and fearing that she might drown, I fished her out and brought her here to give her a good rub down. And shall you be married, my son John? Will you and she soon be wed? No, I don't think it's likely, mother dear, 'cause she tells me her friends call her Fred.
And now, Correspondence Corner, devoted this week to photography.
Last night I went to this fancy dress party with my new movie camera.
A Zoom?
As Henry VIII. The thing is, my film come out all blurred. Can you advise me?
Well, the answer's in the negative.
Prize-winning slide I'd like to show you.
Certainly. Go ahead.
Righto.
Next.
Whenever I get photographs through the post, they're all bent.
Chacun son goût. Next.
I enjoy taking photographs, but I have great difficulty in adjusting my lens.
Why not let your Len adjust his own? Next.
I like to photograph birds in their natural state, you see.
Well, that's all the letters we have.
I prefer wild ones, of course. I've got to hide to get the full effect.
I'm sure you have, but...
I always touch up my own work. Naturally, and my flash cost me 10 guineas. Here, take your hands off me. I've a perfect right.
But we'll never see it. Well, this week, instead of vardoing back, we're vardoing forward as we hear what lies ahead of two intrepid space travelers.
Oh, hello, I'm Countdown Charlie, and this is my little booster, Blast Off Bobby.
Yes, how very interplanetary to vardy a well-upholstered launching pad.
I gather you two are planning a moon probe.
Yes, well, love, what we've really got in mind is to put an Omi on the moon.
Put Omi on the moon. Right time to. They need a few of us up there. Bring a bit of life to the place.
When do you expect to be sent up?
Well, we was all set for the launching ceremony, but he went and drank the champagne.
Yes, I do love a drop. Tickles me nose and me fancy. And also, we've got technical problems with the rocket.
Problems, yes.
With the rocket.
Not with the third stage retro-thrust turbojet booster.
No, Ducky, with the decor. Yes, he keeps changing his mind about the colour of the curtains.
It's not the curtains. It's all them bubbles you've had on the pelmet.
Nice. Few bubbles on your pelmet.
Oh, I think it's dead common.
Oh, around.
I can see this is a highly scientific expedition.
Oh, it is, love. Yes. We want to find out if the change of gravity affects our way of life.
It's all different up there. Yes.
Tell him who you've invited as that navigator.
Oh, I get him.
Go on, tell him. Go on, tell him.
Oh, I
get it out of your system.
My lips are sealed.
Well, unseal them then. Go on, tell him. Go on, tell him his name. Tell him his name. It's Cosmonaut Clint, isn't it?
Yes. I admit it.
Yeah.
Cosmonaut Clint. I can't face the journey without him there.
You're a fool to yourself about that, Clint.
He knows all the shortcuts, Ducky. He's been there before.
So you keep telling me? Yeah. Well, tell about how he asked you round to look at his lunar nodule.
Nodule, not nodule, you great nana.
Any road up, tell him what happened.
Oh, I can't.
Go on, tell him.
I can't.
Get it out.
All right, then. Well, I went round to his place, you see, thinking to learn a bit about space probes.
And you did, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
Yes.
And just as we were sitting there having this dainty cup of tea, Clint did something very untoward.
Picture the scene. Picture the scene, love. My friend sitting there, cup in hand, little finger crooked. Just about to have a nibble at a Viennese fancy. And his ear goes all blanched and he screams out. He screamed out, didn't you?
Yes, I
Scream.
did. Yes, I did. I screamed.
Yes.
Don't do it, Clint. Don't do it.
Yes. And tell him what you told Clint not to do. And for what?
I can't.
Tell him. Go on. Go on. Tell him what you said.
I said, it's ginger twins if you don't let the same one pour.
Once again, it's time to meet our wandering folk group, and here, with the act they've just launched at the Harrow Road Slipper Baths, are Peter, Paul, and Mrs. Nosebelt.
Greetings, man.
What melodic masterpiece have you brought us?
Well, we were hoping to sing Dick-a-dum-dum, Dick-a-dum-dum.
Yeah, we can remember the words.
I'm not surprised.
So here instead is an old Scottish air that we learned from an airy old Scot.
There's a working girl called Florrie who's slightly pigeon-toed.
Pigeon-toed.
And she drives a 10-ton lorry along the Great North Road. Along the Great North Road, she carries quite a load.
But her motto's better safe than sorry, 'cause she knows her highway code. If you break down at a junction because of your big end, or your lights refuse to function, and you feel you need a friend, you feel you need a friend who's with you to the end.
Farm a lift from Florrie in her lorry, and she'll drive you round the bend, round the bend.
now for our film adaptation. This week, a story of the Deep South and the American Civil War.
Lost, but not gone with the wind.
(1861). On the porch of a colonial mansion, a dignified southern lady sits embroidering a hominy grit. It's the swamps of Florida. Her husband, Mr. Swamp, stands beside her surveying the vast expanse of cotton with satisfaction.
That blouse sure shows off your figure, Mamie.
Thank you, Jane.
You know, I'm right worried, Mamie. Our slaves are getting uppity. The old gardener comes to work in a taxi.
You mean Uncle Tom's cabin?
Say, here comes young Lulabelle, looking unhappy as usual.
Well, wouldn't you, with a nickname like that, tain't fitting for a man, call me by my proper name, Evelyn? Have you heard the news, Ma? We've seceded.
I knew you would if you kept trying.
Ma, we are at war with the North. I must put on my uniform, Ma. The South is going to need every district nurse they can get. General Robert T. Leaf is recruiting men in South Carolina. Don't try and stop me. I'm going to Charleston.
So, young Swamp, you've joined the Confederate Army, huh?
Yes, General, sir.
Then why are you wearing blue?
I'm not wearing anything. I'm just cold. Dear Ma and Pa, yeah, at last I am a soldier. Yesterday we had bayonet practice and I learned the rebel yell the hard way. Tomorrow I think we will go over the top.
Producer's note. In his opinion, you already have.
Oh, I hate these war stories. All these men are not one decent part for a woman to get her teeth into.
Yes, I know how you feel, Miss Hill.
I know you do, Douglas.
Tell you what, you can play the role I was going to play later.
Watch him, Joan. The string's attached to it.
I don't believe you. Thank you, Douglas. Carry on.
About time, too. The Battle of Bull Run.
Forward, men! Fire at will! That's the tall one with the flag. Then we'll advance close behind with the cavalry. They'll cover us.
Now, that's what I'm afraid of.
Charge!
Some hours later, the battle was over. This is it, Miss Sims.
Oh, how nice, thank you. I, Douglas Smith, play the battlefield. Men are sprawled all over me in curious, twisted positions. Wisps of smoke rise from my entanglements, and my hillocks have been held by each army in turn. Yes, I see now why you didn't want to do it.
Some months later, the Confederate Army, reduced to living on beans, were on the run.
Listen, Mamie. Hear that distant rumbling? It's coming closer.
It's our boy, Jeb. I'd recognize that indigestion anywhere.
Yeah, it's me, Ma. I've deserted.
So the war is going badly, son?
Yeah, Pa. The Yankees are nearing Richmond. You can hear the guns at Kew Gardens. We gotta defend the plantation. Where's that old cannon we used to keep on the front lawn?
I'm here, my son. Peace be with you.
He's not a cannon. He's Max Harris. Oh, you've been itching to get your oar in, haven't you? Get back to your band, you piano-pounding poltroon. Oh, clear off out of it.
Oh, Miss Sharp, straight out of the knife box.
Oh, it's nice.
Mr. Williams, can we carry on?
I didn't know you cared.
Meanwhile, the Union soldiers were heading towards the plantation singing a northern marching song.
On Incl on Incl
Squad!
The Union soldiers fell out for a quick goober pee.
What? Signed, outraged of Ilford.
Historically verified term for peanuts, so there. To continue, refreshed, they attacked the house.
Here they come! We gotta hold them, son!
I'm doing the best I can. Pass me another round.
Well, there's only cheese and tomato left.
Oh, no! We'll have to surrender. Wave something white out the window. Pa, not that! It's much too small. Never see your hanky from here.
I'll wave my nightie.
What for?
I always wave that when I want to surrender.
Too late! They're at the front door. Yeah?
How do? Look, I'm going to have to surrender to you. Something rather embarrassing's happened.
Oh, yes! Look!
His trousers, they are made of cotton.
They just split because they're rotten. Look away!
Look away! Look away! Look away!
I wish I'd worn me long johns
Today! Today!
I wouldn't feel undisable defending my old glory.
And that's the way we end our story.
The Union split.
That was the last of the present series of Stop Messing About. As usual, it starred Kenneth Williams, Hugh Paddick, Joan Sims, and the Max Harris Group. The script was by Johnnie Mortimer and Brian Cooke and Myles Rudge. The producer was John Simmons.